Alrighty, and welcome to episode number 41 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Landy Pavlon, alongside Justin Hebert, and Blake Hool is with us tonight for episode 41 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I know usually we start at around 7 o'clock Eastern time, but we decided it was better just to push the start time 30 minutes back because of the college football championship game, which starts in an hour 30 minutes from now.
Yep.
So we have a very interesting loads of headlines that are on this podcast that we will be gladly excited to talk about. 2 endurance races, 1 so-called 24-hour race. And for you two-wheel fans, another Supercross event from St. Louis. So without further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about probably the race of the weekend, the 24 Hours of Dubai.
Yep.
And what a disappointment that was. It got rained out. For those of you that might not have known, that was seeded rain. And we'll talk a little bit about that. For those of you that don't know, seeded rain basically means that they go up in the sky. Then they spray the clouds with salt to manipulate them to create precipitation. They don't do that very often, maybe 10 years in between them, something like that there. But that was essentially, in a way, artificial rain. But it rained so much, and the drainage on the track was so bad. There was massive puddles. Cars were hydroplaning even at 60K.
Which is their caution speed.
Yes, code 60 we call it.
Yep.
So the race got stopped, red flagged, and for hours and hours we were waiting. Us fans were waiting for word from
come back.
We were waiting for word from the race control to announce the comeback of the race, but the track
didn't go anywhere.
The water just did not get off the track, and eventually race control said enough is enough. We're going to discontinue this race and award all finishing positions.
Yeah, and the racing only lasted 7 hours.
Yep.
For that
of actual
physical racing.
Actual racing, yes.
Yeah.
7 hours.
Yeah, this was the first of 8 rounds of the 2020 24H series. If you're new to following the 24H series, it's still a fairly new series, operated in the 2010s early on, and it's grown to be what it is today. Let's talk about the class results. We'll go down and list the top 5 for each class, starting with the main one, Gt3 Pro, which involves our overall winner. It's number 4, Black Falcon Mercedes, finished first in that event. They won over the number 88 car collection Motorsport Audi. And then you look further down, the number 7 MS7 by WRT Audi finished third, while the Herbert number 91 Porsche finished fourth, and the number 31 Team WRT Audi finished in fifth.
And
then further down we have
Gt3 Am finishers.
Gt3 Am, yes. We have the number 19 MP Motorsport Mercedes. That is about, I believe, 3 laps down from the overall winner. And then we go a little further down, a lot further down actually, to get our GTX winner.
Before we get to the GTX winner, let's just run down the rest of the top 5 from the Gt3 Am, because the TalkSport WRT came close. They finished in second, and then the number 28 Dynamic Motorsport Porsche got third, while the car collection Audi number 34 finished fourth, and the number 69 Hong Kong Croft Bamboo Racing Mercedes finished in the fifth spot. Now, the GTX class you mentioned, it was the 788 Dragon Racing Lamborghini Super Trofeo. They put on a great clinic there.
Then after him, the GTX, we had second place in class, which is 28th overall, the number 754 QSR Racing. The number 754 QSR Racing Mercedes, finishing second in class. Okay, where's third place in class?
Third place was the number 758.
Oh, jeez.
VDSR Advanced Mark.
Yep. Fourth was the number 717 Core User Racing Mark 2 V8, finishing fourth. And fifth place in class, DNF number 710 Liebherr Motorsports Lamborghini.
So now the next class is a one make category, the Porsche 991 class, which all cars share the same car, or all members of the class share the same car. It's the number 989 MRS GT Racing finished in first, while the Race Pro Motorsport number 996 finished second. The DUWO Racing number 909 finished third. The 969 HRT Performance Porsche finished in fourth, and fifth place was the 997 Race Pro Motorsport Porsche. So there you have it. And then you're looking on in the next class is the TCR category. It was the number 188 AC Motorsport Audi taking the win over the number 111 Lestrip Racing Volkswagen.
Third was the number 112 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing. Fourth was the number 101 Red Camel Jordans.nl. And fifth place was the number 107 BBR Cupra TCR DSG, finishing fifth.
So yeah, there you have that. And then moving downwards in the GT4 class, it was a number 403 Atlas BX Motorsports Mercedes taking the win over the number 430 Century Motorsport BMW, while their sister car, number 429, finished in third. The team Avia SR BMW finished in fourth, while the Liebherr Motorsports Mercedes number 410 finished in fifth. Now, the other two classes that remaining only consisted of three cars each. The TCX class winner was the number 321 AC PTA BMW over the number 278 CWS Engineering Ginetta and the number 226 Nordschleife Racing Ligier, while the TC class winner was the number 151 Team Avia SR BMW over the number 302 Fun M BMW and the number 172 Nordschleife Racing Peugeot. So there you have it. That's the end of the race one. And likewise, the championship standings match the race results because one race was complete and the next race is until March 27th in Monza, the famous facility that hosts the Italian Grand Prix, for the 12 hours of Monza on March 27th, which will be round 2 of 8.
Yes, very excited for that one. Very pleased to see them going to Monza.
Yeah, I think that's going to make a good race. Be fun to watch because we don't usually see too much endurance racing at that track.
Absolutely. The WEC is also planning on going to Monza for next season. So I am excited to see more sports car racing there. And that brings up also the last time that we've really seen major sports car racing go to Monza was the last time WEC went there.
Wow.
And I can't remember. Well, unless you count the Blancpain series, which they go there every year, but they only have a 4-hour race every year.
Right. So a 12-hour race is something that we've not really seen before, and it's going to be a very exciting one when it happens. But that won't take place until the end of March for round 2 of their 8-race tour. Now let's move on to the other big sports car race of the weekend, which was round 2 of the 4-race Asian Le Mans Series season, which goes down to Australia for the 4 hours of the Bend,
Yep.
a track that's still fairly new
Well.
in Thailand Bend to supercars racing. So this was a fun event, I'd say. But G-Drive Racing ruled the event.
Number
They
20.
won in LMP2,
Yep.
put on a
Yep.
clinic,
Yep.
and they won over the number 36 Eurasia Motorsport. And the number 45 Carlin Racing, that car that finished first physically but got disqualified from Shanghai.
Yep.
Yeah, they finished third, while the number 33 Inter-Europol competition finished in fourth, and the number 1 Eurasia Motorsport finished fifth, while the number 34 Inter-Europol competition finished last, 6th place in the category. The LMP2 Am class was the shortest one with only 4 entries, and it was dominated by the Rick Ware Racing entries. Number 52 beat the teammate number 25, while the number 4 ARC Bratislava finished third, and the number 59 RLM Sport finished fourth and last in the category.
Yeah, 59 had issues at one point. He had problems.
Let's talk about LMP3. We have the winner of LMP3 is the number 2 Nielsen Racing Norma M30, followed by the 13 Inter-Europol competition Ligier, and then we have the number 12 Ace 1 Villorba Corsa Ligier rounding out the podium, and then we have a little further down the number 14 Inter-Europol competition, teammate to the 13, the Ligier. And then we have the number 9 Graf Racing Norma. And then we have the 65 Viper Niza Racing. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yes.
Ligier. And then the last LMP3, only completing 23 laps, is the number 3 Nielsen Racing Norma M30.
So yeah, there's that. And now in the GT3 class, which had 8 cars, more than any other category, was won by Ferrari. The Ferraris ruled this weekend, finishing 1st through 4th, with the number 7 Car Guy Racing Ferrari over the number 27 Habardo Corsa, the number 51 Spirit of Race Ferrari, the number 75 T2 Motorsports Ferrari finished 4th, rounding out the Ferrari sweep of the top 4 spots. And then 5th place was the number 17 Astro Veloce Motorsport BMW. 6th place was the number 77 Destation Racing Aston Martin. And 7th place was the number 88 JLOC Lamborghini. 8th place was the number 16 Astro Veloce Motorsport BMW. And now the standings. 2 races have been complete. That means halfway through the short season of the Asian Le Mans Series. For LMP2, it's G-Drive all the way. They have a 13-point lead over Eurasia, so 50 points over 37 points. That's the difference number is between the top 2 in points. While the number 45 Carlin Racing entry is claiming 30 or has claimed 31 points this year. Inter-Europol number 33 has 22 points, while 5th and last place, 5th place, I didn't list them all down, only the top 5. 5th place is the Inter-Europol number 34 with only 12 points. LMP2 Am is Rick Ware Racing number 52 with 43 points claimed over the number 59 RLR with 26 points. The number 25 Rick Ware Racing entry with 18 points claimed in 3rd. And in the 4th place is number 4 ARC Bratislava with only 16 points. LMP3 is probably the most competitive class. Nielsen has a 1-point lead. They have 45 points. Number 2 Nielsen of the number 13 Inter-Europol with 43 points. Number 12 Ace 1 VC entry was 27 points claimed, while the number 9 Graf is 4th with 15 points claimed, and the number 14 Inter-Europol number 12 or number 14 has 12 points claimed in 5th. Now, actually, my bad. This class has the most competition when it comes to tightness in the points gap is the GT category, where the number 7 Car Guy team has only It has 35 points, 2 points over the number 77D Station Racing with 33 points. The number 27 Hub Auto CA with 28 points claim.
Auto Corsa.
And then the number 51 Spirit of Race with only 27 points claimed, and then 25 points claimed is fifth place is Astro Veloce Motorsport BMW. So only 10 points separate first through fifth in the GT standings with just 2 races left.
By the way, Joseph, you said 43 points for Rick Ware Racing Car. For some reason, when I was writing the notes, I thought you wrote 93 by accident because I thought the 4 looked like a 9.
Yeah, I know. I have sloppy handwriting. I do apologize from that.
Well, I have bad handwriting too. And at least I noticed that you put 19 Eurasia Motorsports for the 1. At least I realized it. But, it happens. People make mistakes.
Yes, they do.
Mistakes. Even race car drivers make mistakes.
And we see that on the track all the time. So the next race that they have won't be for about another month. It's February 15th. It's the 4 Hours of Sepang in Malaysia, which used to hold the Malaysian Grand Prix for Formula One. It's going to host round 3 of 4. And then the fourth and final race is going to be, I think, the week after that at Buriram, Thailand at the Chang International Circuit for another 4-hour race to wrap up the season.
Which last time Formula One went there was 2017. The last time.
Yes, in Malaysia, that is.
Yep. So that's the next race, and then they go to Thailand. Yeah, only a 4-race calendar.
But it's fun because, sports car racing doesn't rely on one racing sanction. No. They go everywhere with teams, drivers. Makes for a fun showcase.
Like Rick Ware Racing. They were in the Ben.
And they'll be at Daytona.
Yeah, they'll be racing the 24 hours.
The thing about sports car racing, I said this before, I'll say it again. It's never exclusive to one sanctioned series.
They could be running Rick Ware Racing may be running an ELMS, European Le Mans Series.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Yeah.
Maybe somehow maybe they'll run at what track is it called? They'll maybe run at Sebring, maybe, or you never know. They could run Sebring or the Lone Star Le Mans in WEC, which was supposed to be Sao Paulo, but then they replaced it with Coda. They could be racing Sebring and maybe racing Le Mans. You never know. It could happen. Different drivers. We see IMSA drivers go to we see drivers from IMSA and teams race in WEC also.
Yeah, we see them. Well, obviously, we see a lot of them. Yeah. The pros at least go to Le Mans, but other events too.
Yeah.
We see a lot of moving around to different championships within sports car racing.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of the same names, a lot of the same teams, a lot of the same cars.
Yeah, I remember Corvette Racing. They raced at Sebring the same weekend as IMSA.
They ran the same car, mind you.
Yeah, they just.
You saw the decals, the IMSA decals on the side with the painted WEC number on it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you saw the number. They ran the number 63. You still saw the number 4 they ran in the IMSA series. You still saw the number 4, but they had 63 over it.
Right.
Yeah.
I still like to see that race become a 12-hour altogether like they did in 2012, but maybe that's for another year. Let's move on to race preview. We don't have that much. We're going to talk about Formula E, actually, before we get into the Chili Bowl, because we know it's going to be a long discussion. In fact, the Chili Bowl has began already with track activity. It started this afternoon. It goes the entire week long. To get those 359 entries down to 24 does not take 2 days to do it. No. It takes a whole week.
Yep.
So before that, let's get into Formula E. As their third race of the season, the 14-round championship will take place in Chile this weekend.
The Santiago E-Prix.
And Santiago E-Prix for round 3 of 14 at the Park O'Higgins Circuit in Chile. the first two rounds took place in the same weekend back in Thanksgiving, which was the Adoraya E Prix from Saudi Arabia from November.
Which Sam Bird won race 1 and race 2 was
Alex Sims.
Yep.
So the championship standings, of course, they're exactly what after round 2.
Yeah.
Alex Sims has a 5-point lead over Stoffel Van Dorn. Sam Bird is third. Alva Roline fourth. And you look down, there's a lot of big names in Formula E. Great showcase of talent. Lucas Degrassi, Andre Lauderer, Eduardo Mortara, Robin Fringe, Nick DeVries, the F2 champion from last year, Daniel Abt, James Collado, Ferrari driver, Jean-Eric Verne, Antonio Felix da Costa, Brendan Hartley, Le Mans winner, Jerome D'Ambrosio, Mitch Evans, Pascal Verline, Maximilian Gunter, Felipe Mazza, the 22nd champion from 2008. That was a little mean. Sebastian Buemi, Neil Yanni, the two Swiss drivers of the four. That includes Mortara and Nico Mueller, and Oliver Turvey, and Matt Kingha. That's a great showcase of drivers right there. And then, of course, the team championship looks like this. Fun fact, in 2 races, every team but one has claimed at least 2 or more points. The Mercedes-Benz EQ Formula E team over the Envision Virgin Racing team, BMW I Andretti Motorsport, third place over the over the entry from fourth in the points, which is Audi Sport ABT Schaeffler. Nissan E-Dom is fifth. Tag Heuer Porsche Formula E team sixth. Rocket Venturi Racing is seventh. Panasonic Jaguar Racing is eighth. DS Chichita is ninth. Mandinra Racing is 10th, the lone team from India. And the second team from the U.S., Geox Dragon, is 11th, while the lone team without points is the second team from China, Neo 333 FE team.
We apologize for some malfunctions here with Justin's stuff here. Oh, he's back.
Come on. This computer's annoying because for some reason, the on button usually is like on the left side. It's on the right side on the keyboard, so that's the more annoying thing. Sometimes I'm typing, I click that by accident, and it turns off the computer. So that happens. So technical difficulties, but everything's good now. I'm not gonna touch that button.
Before we get into the Chili Bowl, I want to break down the Formula E race that will take place from Chile. So, Santiago E Prix was first held in 2018, and Jean-Eric Verne and Sam Bird have one win each. Jean-Eric Verne won the first race in 2018, and that was actually at the Santiago Street Circuit.
Oh.
Yes.
So it's a different layout for the second time at the Park O'Higgins Circuit.
Yep.
Very different type of circuit.
Has a very interesting set of corners in the final 2 turns, which is a crescent shape kink that lasts about good 10 seconds.
Yeah.
After a small chicane, very tiny chicane.
Yeah, I could tell. I'm looking at it.
And then you have 2 sets of hairpins before the end of the lap.
I'm actually looking here. The track is 1.459 miles, 14 turns. Lap record last year was a 1 minute 11.263 set by Daniel Abt in his Audi.
Wait a second, you said 1.45 miles?
Yep, 1.459 miles.
That's smaller than Lime Rock Park, and it has 14 turns.
Yep.
Very, very technical circuit.
Yeah, this lap time, the fastest lap ran was a 1:11.263 by Daniel Abt last year.
So there you have it. Now, who do you think will win the third race of the 2019-2020 championship?
Okay, that's kind of hard.
This is tough.
because
but-
because Joseph, remember race number 2? How many penalties there were?
It was
Oh
like
my
half the
god!
field got at least one penalty, whether it was minor or major.
Yeah.
Sorry about the hockey term right there. Minor penalty, major penalty.
But we've seen it. Like Max Gunther finished second on the track. They gave him a penalty. He finishes 11th. Like they literally, yeah. So it's gonna be hard.
So my prediction on who's going to win this race, he's a very skilled driver with success in Le Mans and did some time in F1, like most in the at Formula E grid. He's from Switzerland and sits surprisingly 20th in standings. Not for long, he's going to go right back up in the top 10 in points. Sebastian Buemi.
Okay. Trying to think. Ooh, I have to do this pick wisely. I can't pick some random person. I know I'm not picking Ma Qinghai. I'm not picking that because I don't think okay. Okay. I figured out who my pick is. This guy drives for the Mercedes program. He's raced Formula 1 before for McLaren. Stoffel Van Dorn's going to win.
2 third-place finishes. A great start to the season.
Yep.
Blake, up to you.
All right, my pick. I didn't even have to look at the the entry list for this one. This guy, he's a Le Mans winner. He was a Porsche driver before they came out of WEC. My pick is Neil Jani.
Oh.
I think he's a great pick, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
He won the 2016 Le Mans 24 Hours with Porsche and that jaw-dropping, heartbreaking finish for Toyota.
Yep. Yeah. And
Along with Brendan Hartley, who will be in that race.
well, yeah,
Formula
I'll be
E.
driving for the Dragon Racing. And I just realized about it's gonna be the third race with the new attack mode. Remember, Joseph?
Oh, yeah, where you would go through this certain portion of the
You
like
slow
the first
and
turn.
then, yeah, and you're not allowed to use it under a safety car. And remember that safety car?
Yeah, someone used it.
Remember the safety car? They put the safety car back in, but they had to put a
Oh,
a
they had the
virtual-
restart prematurely.
But remember the VSC? They had a virtual safety car because they'd get the track fills off the track with the crane for the car.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So I hope this race has less penalties. You never know because it's the FIA, so
Who knows?
we'll see. If that race is on Saturday afternoon.
What time?
At
Well, actually, it's going to be pretty close to our time, so we don't have to like wake up early in the morning.
it's
South America isn't usually in our time zone.
it's 2:30 Eastern.
2:30 Eastern.
Yep, 2:30
Okay.
p.m. So yeah, it's not in the morning. It's actually afternoon.
I gotta say, I've been sleeping on Formula E this past season.
Yeah, usually we don't talk too much about Formula E
I
when
watched
the other racing series come around, but it's always fun to watch because they put on a great show. If you like tight racing, Formula E is the series you should get into.
I remember I watched. Me and Joseph watched race 2 of the race at the last race, Saudi Arabia. Copy that.
All right, so the Chili Bowl Nationals have already begun with their events starting today. It's a week-long event. We're ready to let's get into the Chili Bowl. So before we talk about what happens, how things work, and who's in it, let's get into the history of the race. This will be the 34th annual Chili Bowl Nationals, which takes place in an indoor arena in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's a very unique event. And the race started small in 1987 with not that many entries, like one of those, small race kind of deals. And it was won by Rich Vogler 3 years before he was tragically killed in a racing accident
Oh.
in 1990. He won the race in 1987. Christopher Bell won the last 3 consecutive Chili Bowls, which is an unbelievably great accomplishment.
And right before Christopher Bell, Rico Aber won 2 in a row before him.
So let's get into our most wins. That is the one and only Sammy Swindell. 5 wins at the Chili Bowl. He's one of the greatest dirt track drivers who's ever stepped foot in a race car. His son, Kevin Swindell, has 4 victories, second on the list. And then moving down, Christopher Bell won the last 3 in a row. Tremendous accomplishment, if you ask me. And then you look down at the 4 drivers with 2 wins. Dan Boris, Tony Stewart, Corey Kruzman, and Rico Abreu. Rico Abreu was the most recent repeat winner before Christopher Bell won the last 3.
And a lot of people are shocked. Kyle Larson has not won a Chili Bowl yet. He's been close.
He was so close last year, just by 1 lap shy of winning. And then you look at the rules for the race. It is going to be a 55-lap A main event on Saturday night. And all the heats and support events have taken place all week long, starting this afternoon. So there are some things going on in progress as we speak. So let's get into the Chili Bowl Nationals.
Ooh, it's gonna be like
359
entries
for
That's-
24 spots.
That's a very, very big entry list.
Yep.
So here's the schedule. It starts off with tonight, or which is going on as we speak, is the Cummins Incorporated qualifying night for today, January 13th. And then tomorrow we'll have Warren Cat qualifying night, plus the 11th annual VIROC race for tomorrow. Then Wednesday we'll have the Hard Rock Casino qualifying night. On Thursday, there'll be the John Christner Trucking qualifying night. Friday, on January 17th, we'll have the VACWARKS Global qualifying night. And then, of course, the Lucas Oil Championship and the A main on Saturday. So the practice has already taken place starting at 9 in the morning, where all cars were able to take some track time. And then a trade show took place all day long. And at 2 p.m., the drivers drew for heat starting positions from a chalkboard, followed by a driver's meeting and some hot laps by the respective heat race group. Heat races began at 5 o'clock this afternoon with 8 laps each, about 7 to 9 races. And then C-Main races, which were 2 events, took place at 6:45 earlier tonight. We'll get into that, who was in what, later on. I'm just trying to paint the picture of what's happening here. There was 2 races, the top 4 to the back of the corresponding B main. And then that translates into the B main, which took place 25 minutes later for A qualifier races, 4 of them with top 16 in combine passing points to A, bound to twin B mains. And then the track maintenance took place, of course, with the B features, the top 4 to the A main, 15 laps apart. And then later tonight, the A feature will start with 24 cars and a 25-lap event. So basically, we're at 7:04 p.m. Eastern time. Well, actually, no, that could be local time. Come to think of it, I think Oklahoma's in Mountain Time.
Mountain Time.
Or Central.
Wait, what time do you say it is over there?
It's definitely not Eastern time.
Because for you it's 7:04. For me it's 8:04.
I'm looking up right now.
It might be about an hour difference, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm looking up right now. It's actually 6:04 p.m. So they're Central time.
They're in Central.
So Tulsa, Oklahoma. And going back into, so basically the events that haven't taken place yet are the C main events, which will come up in about 40 minutes. And then the A qualifier races, followed by some track maintenance, and then the B features, which send the top 4 cars to the A feature at 10 o'clock local time tonight. a 24-car, 25-lap race.
And
So that's day one. Now, day two is going to look like this. Of course, the building opening and then the trade show. And then there'll be another draw for drivers at 2 o'clock local time tomorrow for heat starting positions, followed by a driver meeting.
Hot laps by heat race group, heat races.
So 8-lap races
7,
each.
9 races.
Yeah, they have to do the math of the numbers.
6:45 local time, the Vacuum Works Race of Championship hot laps and qualifying. C main races, 2 races, top 4 to the back of corresponding B main at 7:45 Central. 8 qualifier races, 4 top 16 combined passing points to A balanced to Twins Bs at 8:15. Track maintenance at 9. 9:20 Vacuum Works Race of Championship at Champions 25-lap race. B features 9:55, top 4 to A15 to the top 4 to the A main A feature, which is 15 laps each. 10:20 is the A feature. Start at 10 to at 10. It's a 30-lap race, 24 cars. The curfew's at 10:30.
So basically, that's the last event of the night.
Then midnight buildings closed. Then we go to Wednesday. Building opens as normal at 9. 10 to 7 p.m. is the trade show. 1 p.m. clear the building. Open grandstands and pits for entry with ticket or pass at 1:30. The start.
I know we're not going to be there like it matters to us.
Drivers meeting 3. Hot laps at 4. Heat races at 5. 6:45 the C main races again. A qualifier races at 7:45. Track maintenance. B features at 9:15. A feature at 10. Curfew and building closed. Thursday, every normal thing. Hot laps at 4. Heat races at 5. 6:45 is the C main races. A qualifier races at 7:45. Track maintenance. B features at 9:15. The features start at 10. Then the curfew, and then the building's closed again. Then normal.
Okay, so this is now it gets more important because now here's Friday. So basically, the first event will be at 2 o'clock when drivers draw for heat starting positions at the chalkboard, like they did in the other days. Driver meeting will be at 3, and then the heat race group. I don't think I like by them. They get some track time by having hot laps per group, and then the heat races take place at 5 o'clock local time. Then at 6:45 p.m. we'll have the main races, 2 C main events with the top 4 of the back corresponding B main, which we have the A qualifier races, 4 events, and the top 16 combined passing points will go to the A main, the balance to the Twin Bs, followed by track mazes. You have 9:15 local time.
B features
top 4 go to the A
each, and then 10 p.m. A features start 24 cars, 30 laps, and the curfew, and then building closes Saturday.
This is the real deal here. 8 o'clock p.m. the building or a.m. local time building opens, and then
the trade
and then looking at
pit passes for sale.
O and N main. See, look how many letter mains there are, all the way down to the letter N. You don't see that in most dirt races.
9:30 a.m. O and N main hot laps, 3 or 4 races. 10:15 local time. O mains, 1 or 2 races, 10 laps or 10-minute time limit. 10:45 N mains, 2 races, 10 laps or 10-minute time limit. 11:15 the M mains, 2 races, 10 laps or 10-minute time limit. 11:45 local time. L mains, 2 races, 10 laps or 10 minutes. Depends on time limit. 12:15 K mains, 2 races, 10 laps or 10 minutes. 12:45 J mains, 2 races, 10 laps or 10 minutes. 1:15 I mains, 2 races, 10 laps or 10 minutes. Then we have track maintenance. Then the H main at 2:30, 2 races, 10 laps or 10 minutes. G mains at 3 o'clock, 2 races, 10 laps or 10 minutes. 3:30, 2 races, which is 15 laps or 20 minutes. 4:15 the E mains, which is 2 races, 15 laps or 20 minutes. 5 p.m. D mains, 2 races, 15 laps or 20
cars will be in both of the events. So that the D mains will have 40 total with 2 separate races, followed by track maintenance.
Then we have
and then the pole dash will be at 7:15 local time.
And then 8:15 is the C mains. 2 races, 15 laps each, 20 cars each. 9 p.m. the B main start. 2 races, 20 laps each, 20 cars each. The A main, 10:30 local time.
This is the main event right
The
here.
A 55 laps, 24 cars, and then they have the curfew at
Yeah.
11 o'clock.
Now, when you heard all those letters for the mains, starting with the O main, that's
Yeah.
how many cars there are in this race.
Yeah.
And every main that goes by, a few cars get chopped off the main event.
Yeah, but yeah, essentially, yeah, those are basically like qualifiers to get into the main event, which is hold on, yep, the A main, 10:30 p.m. local time on Saturday. If you're in the East Coast, that's 11:30 p.m.
Yep.
55 laps, 24 cars. It's the real deal.
This is it. So here's the event format. I'm just going to read this off from racingnews.co. Qualifying nights, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday heat races, they go by this. The drivers draw for heat racing starting positions at 2 p.m. on the chalkboard each day. The driver who draws the lowest number will start on the pole at heat 1, second lowest for P2 and onwards. And
yeah, number of heats decided by the number of cars, 7 to 10 per heat, 8 laps. Advancements from heat race to feature is based upon passing points earned in heat racing and qualifying races. Passing points are based upon car starting position when the yellow light goes out prior to the initial start of the heat or qualifying race.
And then now the C mains qualifying races, as well as the B and A mains for the qualifying races, look like this. The top 40 drivers earning the most passing points advance to the 4A qualifying races. Drivers and passing points from positions 41 to 68 will go to 2 C main races, while the 2 C main races will have 16 cars each at 12 lap races in length. Okay. The top 4 cars from each C main race will advance to the back of the B mains, going 15 laps, while the top 4 cars from the first C main to back of the first of the B main. So the top 4 from that C main will go to the B main event. We'll start in the last 4 positions there. The top 4 cars from the second C main go to the back of the second B main. So it's basically they even out. Well, the lineup of each A qualifying race will include an inversion of 6 cars. The top 24 cars and passing points will make the inversion. The top point driver will start on row 3 of the first qualifying race, the number 2 driver on row 3 of the second qualifying race, and so on. The 4 qualifying races will have 10 cars each, with the top 16 combined passing points from the heats and qualifying races advancing to the A main. The balance of the cars, the 24 cars from the A main qualifying races, will advance to 2 16-car B mains. The top 4 from each B main will advance into the A main, going 30 laps. There will be 24 drivers in each preliminary night A feature. The top 2 drivers from the preliminary A qualifying will be in the main Saturday night A main race.
Yep.
So this is what Saturday night's going to look like. The A feature, the lineup for the top 10 cars in the A feature will be determined through the Pizza Express Chili Bowl pole dash. The 5 A feature winners will draw positions 1 through 5, followed by the 5 drivers who finish second, drawing 6 to 10. You see the pole dash. And Justin, you go ahead and read off the pole dash procedure.
Oh, wait. I'll do that right now. Okay. The pole dash. Oh my gosh. The pole dash for right here. Oh. The pole dash procedure. Each of the races will have 4 cars and be 4 laps. Preliminary night winners will draw for positions 1st through 5th. Runner-up will draw 6th to 10th. First race will be the drivers who draw 7th to 10th, lined up in that order. Top 2 will advance. Second race, front row will be drivers who draw 5th and 6th, with the 2 drivers moving on from the heat from the first race in row 2, winner inside, second outside. third race front row will be drivers who draw third and fourth, with the 2 drivers moving on from the second race in row 2, winner inside, second outside. Fourth race front row will be the winners who draw first and second, with the 2 drivers moving on from the third race in row 2, winner inside, second outside. Winner of the 4th race will earn the pole in Saturday's A feature. Note, all positions in the races other than Saturday's A main will line up upon the original draw of the winners. Prior to the pole dash, example, if the Friday winner draws number 1, the Wednesday winner draws number 2, Tuesday winner draws number 3, Thursday winner draws number 4, and the Monday winners draws number 5. All positions in all races will be based on Friday 1st, Wednesday 2nd, Tuesday 3rd, Thursday 4th, and Monday 5th. 7 drivers will advance from each B main to the A main for a total of 24 cars, with provisional set aside for the defending Chili Bowl champion and Vyrock winner should they not transfer.
All right, B mains look like this. 2 B mains with 20 drivers in each B main. Drivers finishing in their preliminary A feature in position 3 to 8 will qualify for the B mains. 5 drivers will advance from each C main to the B mains. First C to first B, second C to second B, and the C mains will be 15 laps. There will be 2 C mains with 20 drivers in each C. Drivers finishing in the preliminary A feature positions 9 to 14 will qualify for the C mains. 5 drivers will advance from each D main to the C mains. D mains will be 15 laps. There will be 2 D mains with 20 drivers in each D. Drivers finishing in their preliminary A features will positions 15 to 20 will qualify for the D mains. 5 drivers will advance from each E main to the D mains, which will be 15 laps each. There will be 2 E mains with 20 drivers in each E. Drivers finishing in their preliminary night A features positions 21 through 24, and B features 5th will qualify for the E mains. 5 drivers will advance. It goes downwards. I don't have to basically read it because I'm just repeating myself at this point. But from the O mains all the way up to the B mains, it's going to look like that. So 20 drivers in each of the letter main.
Yeah.
And 5 of which will advance up a letter.
Yeah.
Up until, of course, the B main. This is a tough race to get into.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. Takes a lot of skill.
You have to put a lot into it. Also, there's 359 entries here.
Yeah.
For 24 spots. How Christopher Bell won 3 in a row is beyond me.
Yeah. Because, there's so many entries. And it's tough to just make the field. With that many cars entered, and people are going to say, oh, the back markers won't. There's no back markers.
The back markers are pretty much one of the best drivers out there.
It's not back markers like NASCAR. There's no Corey LaJoy. No, it's not like there's no BK Racing slow mobiles. It's not slow.
No.
All the cars are the same engine.
Back markers are going to be gone early in the week.
What? There's no, it's not like the engines are all the same. It's not like,
there are different power plants.
It's not Hendrick Motorsports versus Rick Ware Racing. It's not something like that.
But it's kind of like, and this is going to be kind of a weird analogy as far as motorsports goes, but it's kind of like how in Formula One we have this, this one formula for, the engine and all of that.
Formula 3, they're all one make.
Or pretty much, yeah. But it's like that, except with midget cars.
Yeah.
So looking down the endless number of cars that are in this, I can't really pick a clear winner here.
Yeah, because there's 359 to 24 entries.
I think I can name. I'm going to name Okay, this is what I want to do for us three. Let's come up with 10 possible winners. By looking at the entry list, I put the for us three, we have it. I put the link in the chat.
Okay.
Or actually, we could pick up 10 and then you just narrow it down to 5 and then a winner, because we can't just pick a winner off the bat. Chances are they probably won't go anywhere past the D main.
You never know, because it's not like it's dirt racing. It's hard. It's not
It is. It's a different kind of
it's not
nature
like
to racing.
pavement. You don't slide as much on pavement compared to dirt.
No, you slide on pavement and blow your tires.
And wreck, but you're on dirt. You're sliding around on dirt, so it's gonna be really So yeah, racing on dirt is different than pavement. If you slide on pavement,
Right.
you're gonna blow your tires out, but on dirt, that's what you do. You slide through the corners.
You know what would be interesting? Because it's a similar type of driving technique to rallying. So it would be very interesting to see a rally driver attempt this.
Oh, that would be interesting.
I would love to see that.
I feel like a rally driver could potentially
I'm sure there's
be
probably
good.
one. I mean, you can't say of these 359 people that not one of them has been in a rally race before.
Yeah, because we know that James Davison, he's running the race. We've seen NASCAR drivers like Justin Allgaier, J.J. Yaley, Ryan Newman, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Larson, Cale Conley. Who else? Christopher Bell, Rico Abreu. They're in there.
All right, so let's make our 10 possible winners predictions. And then after we do that for each one of us, we're going to narrow the number down to 5, and then we're going to narrow it down to 1. So I'm going to start off here with my 5 possible winner predictions. Kyle Larson will be one of them. Sammy Swindell will be a second. Next on this list, there's so many out there. I'm just looking around here. Rico Abreu. So I'm at 3. This might be interesting. Alex Bowman. I'm going to put him in there. 4. My 5th prediction will be Logan Seavey. My 6th prediction will be...
Excuse me just for a second. Can you give me that link?
It's in the private chat. My 6th prediction will be Tanner Thorson. My 7th prediction will be...
I only see the schedule.
But there's
Donnie Schatz.
But if you scroll down, there's something that says entries.
So I'm at Donnie Schatz. I need 3 more predictions before I hit 10. Prediction number 8. I'm going to go with Kelly Bryson. Prediction number 9 will be Brad Sweet. Prediction number 10 will be Taylor Peterson. Justin, your turn.
Okay. My 10, I have Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, J.J. Yaley. Don't start mocking about J.J. Yaley. Justin Allgaier, Christopher Bell, Rico Abreu, Donnie Schatz, Sammy Swindell, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Ryan Newman are my 10.
All right, Blake.
All right, so let me see here. Well, the first one I want to put on my list. Well, let me just find it here. I just saw it. Apologies. I have to find the exact one that I saw. Here we go. My first one, I have to go with a hometown guy. Seth Carlson. He's from Stafford, Connecticut. If you guys don't know, I am from Connecticut. So he's my first pick. My second pick, I'm going to go with J.J. Yaley. Let's see. Here we go. You said Alex Bowman's in there.
Yep.
So okay, so he's my third pick. Christopher Bell. Let me see here. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Okay.
Basically, pretty much all the NASCAR drivers that are in there.
They're easier to pick
They're
out.
easier to
Sometimes.
pick out. Yeah. So wait, what? So with all the NASCAR drivers, what does that leave me?
NASCAR drivers. Let me. Okay.
Let's see. How many NASCAR drivers are in here?
I can't even put a number there. There's too many.
Yeah, we have so many. Yeah, we do have a lot. Yeah. Newman, Stenhouse, Haley, Bowman, Allgaier, Bell, and Larson. I'm so far counting 7.
7.
I'm counting 7 of them.
7 that Blake has.
Yep.
Oh, including the other guy that I said.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Now I'm just gonna have to do like random picks. Oh boy, that's tough. I'm just gonna pick this guy or girl, whatever. Just because I like the name Meryl Lamb.
Okay.
Let me see. Nick O'Neill. Oh, this one has an interesting name. Pierce Urbanowski.
Okay.
All right, so now we have 10 on each. All right, so now I'm going to narrow my 10 predictions to 5 drivers. Kyle Larson, Sammy Swindell, Rico Abreu, Logan Seavey, and Donnie Schatz.
Okay, I'm almost done mine.
Oh wait, can I replace one of those random picks?
Yeah, who'd you replace yours with?
Connor Daly.
All right.
Okay. My top 5. For my top 5 picks is Kyle Larson, Rico Abreu, Alex Bowman, Justin Allgaier, and Sammy Swindell. That's my top 5.
All right, my top 5. I'm gonna say Connor Daly, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stenhouse. At least me with 2. Who else did I pick? Did I already say Kyle Larson?
Yeah, you have.
Oh, jeez.
Seth Carlson.
Seth Carlson. And who's another NASCAR driver? I want to get another NASCAR driver in there.
Justin Allgaier.
Oh, wait, no, Christopher Bell.
Yeah, there you go. So my prediction, so I narrowed it down to 5, and from that 5, Rico Abreu will score his 3rd Chili Bowl Nationals victory. He scored his first 2 consecutively in 2015 and 2016. And then, of course, the last 3 were all Christopher Bell. But it's going to be a great race, and he's going to fend off a lot of guys to win that one.
Yeah, me. It's also Rico Abreu.
You got Rico Abreu as well.
Thinking about Rico did not win last year. He was actually involved in an incident. But I'm like, he was actually good in some of the races. So I'm like, feel like this year, I feel like he has a good car. His first win in the Chili Bowl came 5 years ago, in 2015. So maybe 5 years later he'll win. 5 years after, like this analogy I have, I think that Rico Abreu, he won his first Chili Bowl 5 years ago in 2015. I feel like 5 years later he'll win his 3rd.
Yes, So,
possible.
Blake, what do you got?
I think Connor Daly will win his first Chili Bowl.
Interesting
Oh.
one. Very interesting. This is going to be a good run because you don't really know who's going to win until
Yeah.
You don't
really
even
the
know
end of
who's
all the
going to
mains
make
are
the
done.
A main.
Yeah.
The drivers we listed could not even might have a chance of not one of them making the A main. But there's always a good possibility that the drivers we listed will be in there at one way or another and go win. It's going to be tough. But it makes it exciting because it's a showcase event on hardcore white knuckle dirt track racing.
Absolutely. This is my first time watching it.
So the A main will be Saturday night. Well, track activity and qualifying races, as well as support events, have already begun and will be doing so this entire week.
Yep.
All right. Looks like we're about to finish up this podcast.
Oh, you know what I have to do every
Yes,
time
we
there's
do.
racing? Go check out the Formula E race if you live in the United States. It's Fox Sports 2. If you live in Canada, you can watch it off Fox Sports Racing or TSN if you want to. Or if you if you want to watch practice and qualifying and whatever, go on their website. And if you can't get it in your area, just go on the Formula E website and watch live timing. And also, if you want to watch Chili Bowl, if you have it, Mav TV. If you don't, well, try to find a live stream or someone live streaming it on Twitch because that sometimes happens. But for people like me, I could actually show it because on our Skype group and stuff like that. And check out all the races this weekend.
It's going to be fun.
Hush, hush about the live streams.
Oh wait, I just forgot. Joseph, do you know what's this weekend also?
Yeah.
Race 3 for Supercross is this weekend.
Yes, and we haven't talked about that. We'll just get into it. It was Ken Roxon who won over Justin Marcia, Jason Anderson, Eli Tomac, and Zach Osborne, and that will be in Anaheim, California this weekend. Yep. Race 2 was in St. Louis. Race 1 was in Anaheim. They'll be back in Anaheim for round 3 of their 17 race tour.
Yep.
So pretty much, other than that, for news.
Also check that out on NBCSN for people. Yeah, just
it'll be 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Yep.
All right, so I think we have everything set. We were going to end this podcast a little early because for most of you and myself alike, we'll be watching the college football championship game, which starts in 30 minutes, and on all ESPN networks. That's going to be fun to watch. Who's winning the game? Let's. I want to hear everyone. LSU or Clemson? I'm going with LSU.
I'm going with LSU. They're really strong.
I don't know. I don't usually watch college football. I normally just watch the NFL, but I think I'm going to go with LSU.
Clemson fans, we are so sorry.
Sorry.
Best of luck to both teams. We're off. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the Chili Bowl. Have a good time watching Formula E. We'll be back next week talking about the 24 Hours of Daytona, one of my favorite races of the year.
Yep.
We'll see you next week for episode 42. Have a good night.
We'll see you then.